Hi, I'm Taylor Hall, Public Information Specialist at the City of Miami Beach, and your host for the special Vote Miami Beach program. The Miami Beach City Commission has authorized this program to inform our citizens about the upcoming special election. During the November 6th general election, the City of Miami Beach will be conducting a special election for the purpose of submitting 6 ballot questions to the city's voters. During this program, you will have an opportunity to learn about the 6 Miami Beach ballot questions. Now, before we get to the ballot questions, let's review some important dates for this election. You must be registered to vote by Tuesday, October 9th to vote in this upcoming election. Vote by mail ballots can be requested until 5 p.m. on Wednesday, October 31st, and must be returned signed by no later than 7 p.m. on Election Day, Tuesday, November 6, 2018. If you obtain a vote by mail ballot and then decide to vote either at an early voting location or your designated Election Day precinct, it is important that you take that vote by mail ballot with you and present it to the election clerk. As a reminder, Election Day is Tuesday, November 6th. Polls open at 7 a.m. and close at 7 p.m. During early voting, Miami Beach voters may vote at any of the Miami-Dade County early voting sites, including the 2 sites located in Miami Beach. Early voting runs from Monday, October 22nd to Sunday, November 4th, from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. The convenient Miami Beach locations are Miami Beach City Hall, located at 1700 Convention Center Drive in the first floor conference room, and the North Shore Branch Public Library, located at 7501 Collins Avenue. On Election Day, Tuesday, November 6th, you must vote at your designated voting precinct. Now, on to the ballot questions. Over the next portion of this program, we'll explain the 6 Miami Beach ballot questions. An election guide with this information is also available online at www.miamibeachfl.gov. These municipal ballot questions will appear on the special election ballot following any federal, state, and county issues. The purpose of this election segment is to provide objective, impartial explanations of these ballot questions so that Miami Beach voters may, in casting their votes, be more informed and comfortable with the city issues presented to them at the polls. The explanations are intended to provide general information, and members of the public seeking further information may contact the office of the city clerk. Now, let's go over the ballot questions and their respective explanations. The first ballot question is as follows. Establishing City of Miami Beach Office of Inspector General. Shall city charter be amended to create the Office of Inspector General, which shall be independent and empowered to investigate, audit, review, and oversee municipal matters, including city contracts, programs, projects, and expenditures, in order to identify efficiencies and detect, investigate, and prevent fraud, waste, mismanagement, misconduct, and abuse of power, and subpoena witnesses, administer oaths, and require production of records, provided such offices' appointments, term, functions, and powers shall be further established by ordinance. Here's the explanation for this question. This ballot measure proposes to amend the city charter to create the City of Miami Beach Office of Inspector General, OIG, in order to identify efficiencies and to detect, investigate, and prevent fraud, waste, mismanagement, misconduct, and abuse of power in city government. The city charter amendment would create the OIG as an independent office, empowered to investigate, audit, review, and oversee municipal matters, including city contracts, programs, projects, and expenditures. In order to conduct its investigations, the OIG would have the power to subpoena, require the appearance of witnesses, administer oaths, and require the production of records. The public will have access to the investigative reports of the Inspector General when each investigation becomes final. The Inspector General would be appointed by a city selection committee, which will screen and/or interview potential candidates. However, the City Commission shall have ultimate authority to appoint the Inspector General. Before any appointment by the selection committee shall become effective, the appointment must be approved by a majority vote of the City Commission. The Inspector General may only be removed from office by a 5/7 vote of the City Commission. As estimated by the City's Office of Budget and Performance Improvement, the budgetary impact of creating and administrating the OIG is approximately $484,000 for fiscal year 2018-2019 and approximately $1.1 million for fiscal year 2019-2020. This preliminary estimate is based on the assumption that the OIG will be staffed with 5 full-time employees, including the Inspector General as head of the office, an attorney, an investigator, and 2 clerical employees. The appointment, reappointment, term, functions, and powers of the OIG shall be further established by ordinance. If this ballot measure is approved by the city's voters, an ordinance will be presented to the City Commission for its approval. The second ballot question is as follows. Referendum regarding the use of rent payments received by City from Convention Center Hotel Lease. If voters approve City's Convention Center Hotel Lease with MB Mixed Use Investment, LLC, shall the City adopt an ordinance dedicating the hotel's guaranteed rent payments received by the City to enhance funding in equal portions annually for stormwater projects in lieu of rate increases, traffic reduction measures, and education, with any amendment of such ordinance subject to the supermajority 5/7 City Commission approval. Here's the explanation for this question. On July 25, 2018, following 2 public hearings, the City Commission adopted Resolution number 2018-30425, approving a development and ground lease agreement with MB Mixed Use Investment, LLC, Miami Beach Connect, for the development and operation of a privately funded convention hotel and related amenities, the hotel, with a lease term of 99 years. If the voters approve ballot question 3 and thereby approve the city's proposed lease with Miami Beach Connect to build a 100% privately financed convention center hotel, Miami Beach Connect would make annual rent payments to the city once the hotel opens. The annual rent is the greater of guaranteed rent or percentage of the hotel's revenues. The guaranteed rent equals $16,616,242 in the first 10 years and is minimum fixed rent. This ballot question 2, if passed, would require the City Commission to adopt an ordinance dedicating all the guaranteed rent payments the city receives from the Convention Center Hotel lease, including the $16,616,242 in minimum fixed rent over the first 10 years, to enhance funding in equal portions annually for city projects addressing the following areas' needs: stormwater projects in lieu of rate increases, traffic reduction measures, and education. The specific city projects to be funded in each of the above areas' needs would be subject to approval by the City Commission at a public meeting. With respect to the amounts dedicated for stormwater projects, this additional funding would be used to offset the overall costs of needed stormwater projects, and thereby limiting future stormwater rate increases to city users, as stormwater projects are largely funded from stormwater utility fees and have no other dedicated city funding source. In addition, it would create a dedicated source of funding for traffic mitigation and mobility alternatives for Miami Beach, and for investment in our local schools and other educational programs. To illustrate the proposed use of the hotel guaranteed rent payments, in year 5, the hotel's guaranteed rent to the city is fixed at $2 million. However, in year 5, the city anticipates it will receive $2.6 million in total hotel rent payments, based on the percentage rent due to the city under the hotel lease. Accordingly, if this ballot question 2 is passed, the city would dedicate $2 million in year 5 in equal portions of $666,666 and 66 cents for stormwater projects, traffic reduction measures, and education. Any rent payments received in year 5 in excess of the $2 million guaranteed rent would be used to support other public programs or projects as part of the city's general funds. The ordinance dedicated the Convention Center Hotel lease guaranteed rent payments for the uses approved by voters in this referendum could only be amended by a supermajority 5/7 vote of the City Commission. The third ballot question is as follows. Referendum regarding the approval of city's lease of city property for Convention Center Hotel. Should city lease 2.6-acre property at northeast corner of 17th Street and Convention Center Drive to MB Mixed Use Investment, LLC for 99 years, requiring, per Resolution 2018-30425, the construction and operation of 800-room hotel, maximum height of 185 feet, connected to the convention center. No city funding, no gambling, and rent to the city after hotel opens, including greater of guaranteed rent, $16,616,242 over first 10 years, adjusted thereafter, or percentage of hotel's revenues annually. Here's the explanation for this question. The City of Miami Beach is completing its $600 million renovation of the Miami Beach Convention Center, or Convention Center. The City Commission's plans for the area surrounding the Convention Center includes the creation of a public park and a privately funded 800-room Convention Center hotel, sufficiently close to the Convention Center to serve as an on-site hotel for conventions and other events that use the Convention Center. On July 25, 2018, following 2 public hearings, the City Commission adopted Resolution number 2018-30425, approving a development and ground lease agreement with MB Mixed Use Investment LLC, Miami Beach Connect, for the development and operation of a privately funded convention hotel and related amenities, the hotel, with a lease term of 99 years. Miami Beach Connect, the entity that will serve as the lessee under the lease, is a joint venture controlled by 2 local Miami Beach real estate developers, David Martin, a principal of Terra International Developments LLC, and Jacqueline Soffer, a principal of Turn Perry Associates. Section 1.03b3 of the city charter requires approval by at least 60% of the voters voting in a citywide referendum of any lease of 10 years or more of certain city-owned properties located in the vicinity of the convention center, including the hotel site property that is subject of this ballot question. This ballot question 3, if passed by 60% of the voters, would allow the city to lease the hotel site to Miami Beach Connect. The terms of the 99-year hotel site lease include the following. The approximately $362 million hotel, including an overhead pedestrian skybridge connecting the hotel to the convention center, will be 100% privately funded, with no city subsidies, no tax rebates, and no tax abatements for the hotel. Moreover, Miami Beach Connect must pay all customary and ballroom taxes, resort taxes, and other required fees or public charges. After the hotel opens, Miami Beach Connect will pay the city a monthly rent payment. The annual rent payment is the greater of guaranteed rent or a percentage of the hotel's revenues. The guaranteed rent, which is minimum fixed rent under the lease, equals $16,616,242 in the first 10 years. The percentage rent is generally the sum of 2.5% of the hotel's revenues, other than food and beverage sales, plus 1.25% of the food and beverage related revenues. The hotel will have a maximum height of 185 feet and will include at least 320 parking spaces. The hotel brands or flag of the hotel will be an improved brand, which, in the first 20 years after the hotel opens, may include Marriott brands, the Marriott, Marriott Marquis, Renaissance, Gaylord, Westin, Sheraton, or JW Marriott brands, Omni, Hyatt, Regency, La Méridine, Hilton, and Intercontinental. Miami Beach Connect must obtain the city's approval of any other brand for the hotel. The hotel site cannot be used for gambling establishments, for example, casinos of any kind, and Miami Beach Connect or any subsequent hotel lessee or persons with an ownership interest in lessee cannot own or operate any gambling establishment in Miami-Dade County. The hotel's design is subject to review and approval by the city's Design Review Board. The hotel will be designed to enable the Fillmore Miami Beach at the Jackie Gleason Theater to continue in operation, both during and after the hotel's construction. The hotel must block 80% of its rooms for up to 14 days per month for convention center or citywide events that are confirmed or booked at least 30 months in advance, and the lease includes protections to ensure competitive guest room rates are offered to conventions and other events that use the convention center. In addition to funding all design, permitting, and construction costs, and making the rent payments to the city set forth above, Miami Beach Connect will also contribute approximately $3.2 million to the city's Art in Public Places Fund, which will be used for future art in public places projects throughout the city. Now, before we move on to ballot questions 4, 5, and 6, let's discuss the proposed general obligation bonds in its entirety. Extensive community input contributed to the development of the city's proposed 2018 General Obligation Bonds Program, the GeoBond program. In 2018, approximately 1,000 residents responded to the city's project prioritization surveys, or participated in community meetings, public meetings of the mayor's GeoBonds advisory panel, that is, a panel of 11 residents, each appointed by the mayor, and public meetings and workshops of the City Commission dedicated solely to the proposed GeoBond program. In addition, the program was developed with input the city received from residents following numerous presentations made to local groups, such as the Collins Park Neighborhood Association, the Mid-Beach Neighborhood Association, the South of Fifth Neighborhood Association, and the West Avenue Neighborhood Association, among other local organizations. On July 17, 2018, the Mayor's GeoBonds Advisory Panel presented their recommendations to the City Commission based on 3 target funding levels and recommended a range of 32 to 37 projects, totaling from $353 million to $444 million to be funded as part of the GEOBOND program. On July 20, 2018, following extensive deliberations and public input, the City Commission considered the merits of each individual project and tentatively adopted a project list that included 41 projects in the total amount of $426.6 million. On July 25, 2018, the City Commission approved 57 projects in the total amount of $439 million and called a special election on November 6, 2018 for the city's voters to consider the proposed measures. A City of Miami Beach property tax rate increase would be required to fund the proposed GEOBOND program. As the GEOBOND program would be implemented over approximately 10 years, the associated tax increase would be gradually phased in over time. The proposed GEOBOND program is divided into 3 separate ballot questions, each of which will be discussed in the special election information show. Ballot question 4 pertains to parks, recreational facilities, and cultural facility projects. Ballot question 5 pertains to neighborhoods and infrastructure projects, and ballot question 6 pertains to police, fire, and public safety projects. The 4th ballot question is as follows. $169 million general obligation bonds issued to improve cities' parks, recreational facilities, and cultural facilities. To improve the city's parks, recreational facilities, and cultural facilities, including playgrounds, baywalks, beach walks, waterways, landscaping, equipment, lighting, security, and parking related to such facilities, shall the city be authorized to issue general obligation bonds from time to time not exceeding $169 million in aggregate principal amounts payable from unlimited ad valorem taxes bearing interest not exceeding the maximum legal interest rate and maturing no later than 30 years from issuance date. Here's the explanation for this question. This ballot question, if passed, authorizes the City of Miami Beach to issue bonds, the proceeds of which will be used to make permanent public improvements to the city's parks, recreational facilities, and cultural facilities, including playgrounds, baywalks, beach walks, waterways, landscaping, equipment, lighting, security, and parking related to such facilities. Descriptions of the proposed projects can be found by visiting www.gomb2018.com. The 5th ballot question is as follows. $198 million general obligation bonds issued to improve city's neighborhoods and infrastructure. To improve the city's neighborhoods and infrastructure, including stormwater and flooding mitigation projects, sidewalk and street renovation and repairs, protected bicycle lanes, pedestrian paths, landscaping, and lighting, shall the city be authorized to issue general obligation bonds from time to time, not exceeding $198 million in aggregate principal amount payable from unlimited ad valorem taxes, bearing interest not exceeding the maximum legal interest rate and maturing no later than 30 years from issuance date. Here's the explanation for this question. This ballot question, if passed, authorizes the City of Miami Beach to issue bonds, the proceeds of which will be used to make permanent public improvements to the city's neighborhoods and infrastructure, including stormwater and flooding mitigation projects, sidewalk and street renovation and repairs, protected bicycle lanes, pedestrian paths, landscaping, and lighting. Descriptions of the proposed projects can be found by visiting www.gomb2018.com. The 6th and final ballot question is as follows. $72 million general obligation bonds issued for city police, fire, public safety, and security improvements. To improve the city's police, fire, and public safety facilities, equipment, and technology, and to improve lighting and security throughout the city, shall the city be authorized to issue general obligation bonds from time to time not exceeding $72 million in aggregate principal amount, payable from unlimited ad valorem taxes bearing interest not exceeding the maximum legal interest rate, and maturing no later than 30 years from issuance date. Here's the explanation for this ballot question. This ballot question, if passed, authorizes the City of Miami Beach to issue bonds, the proceeds of which will be used to make permanent public improvements to improve the city's police, fire, and public safety facilities, equipment, and technology, and to improve lighting and security throughout the city. Descriptions of the proposed projects can be found by visiting www.gomb2018.com. You can also find frequently asked questions, an interactive calculator to determine the effect of the proposed municipal bonds on your property tax throughout its lifetime, as well as more detailed information on the proposed projects as part of the GeoBond program. You have been watching our special election information show on the November 6th special election. For other election information, visit www.miamibeachfl.gov or contact the office of the city clerk. Thank you again for watching. Now, go out and vote, Miami Beach!